You're not weak, you're not broken, you're just surrounded by noise. And 1,800 years ago, Marcus Aurelius saw it coming. Not the TikTok videos, not the infinite scroll, not the corporate emails, but the same core disease: distraction, confusion, a loss of inner control. He saw it because he lived it. Marcus wasn't just an emperor. He was a man surrounded by chaos, by death, by betrayal, and yet somehow he found a way to stay still, strong, and clear. In a world that tried to break him, he wrote. He wrote to himself, not to impress, not to publish, but to survive. What came from that is meditations. What comes to you today on is a warning, a path, and maybe a way out. Welcome to Stoic Voyage. This is not a motivational podcast. This is a conversation with one of the wisest men who ever lived, and who wrote down exactly what you're going through. Let's be honest. Most men today are not in control of their lives. We wake up, roll over, and the first thing we touch isn't the ground. It's our phone. And from that moment on, we're not living. We're reacting. We scroll through highlights of other people's fake success. We hear opinions louder than our own thoughts. We chase dopamine hits like hungry dogs chasing bones. No wonder we feel lost. No wonder we feel numb. But here's the twist. This isn't new. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, felt it too. Not through Instagram, but through war, politics, betrayal, disease. His best friend turned against him. His soldiers died in plague. His own son became a tyrant. And still, amidst the madness, he didn't run. He didn't numb himself with wine or women. He sat, he thought, and he wrote. Nowhere you can go is more peaceful, more free than your own soul. Marcus understood that the chaos outside wasn't the real threat. The real threat was letting it inside. You see, Marcus Aurelius wasn't born to be a philosopher. He was trained to be an emperor. At 17, he was chosen by the Roman Emperor Hadrian, not because he was ambitious, but because he was wise beyond his years, quiet, disciplined, reflective. But what came after wasn't glory. It wasn't luxury. It was pain. He ruled for 19 years. 14 of those years were spent at war, in freezing frontiers, in muddy camps, with dying soldiers, plague, and rebellion on every side. Imagine leading the greatest empire on earth and spending most of it in a tent, scribbling thoughts in the dark by candlelight, just to keep your mind from falling apart. Meditations wasn't written for an audience. It wasn't a performance. It was therapy. It was battle armor, not for his body, but for his soul. When his friends turned on him, he wrote. When his body broke down, he wrote. When he watched his children die in his arms, he wrote. And in those private notes, never meant to be published, we find a man not preaching but pleading. Pleading with himself to stay calm, to stay grounded, to stay good. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Can you feel the weight of that? He didn't have YouTube videos or podcasts. He didn't have therapy or coaches. He had a pen and a war going on outside and then inside, and still he fought for clarity. You have power over your mind, not outside events. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. When Marcus wrote this, he wasn't talking to the world. He was talking to himself after another day of betrayal, war, and decay. And now he's talking to you. Let's break it down. Because this one line, if you live it, not just quote it, can flip your life upside down. Most people spend their whole lives trying to control everything except their mind. They try to control how others treat them. They try to control outcomes, followers, promotions, relationships. They even try to control how people perceive them, through filters, through fake smiles, through silence. But Marcus says, that's not strength. That's slavery. Every second you spend chasing things you can't control, you surrender the one thing that's truly yours. Your mind. Here's the hard truth. You can't control your childhood. You can't control how they treated you. You can't even control whether someone breaks your heart tomorrow. But you can always control what you think next, what you do next, what you tell yourself about what just happened. That is Stoicism. It's not about being numb. It's not about being cold. It's about being unshakable. A Stoic doesn't pretend the world is perfect. He accepts that it's chaotic and chooses clarity anyway. When the storm comes, he anchors deeper. When the people leave, he grows quieter and stronger. So let me ask you something. What's the one thing you're trying to control right now that you need to let go of? What's the thought that keeps repeating in your mind and stealing your peace? Marcus would say, drop it, let it fall. Focus on what's yours, your mind, your action, your response. Because strength isn't loud, and clarity doesn't come from noise, it comes from stilling the storm inside. You could leave life right now. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. It sounds heavy, because it is. But it's not meant to scare you. It's meant to wake you up. Most people drift through life like they've got an unlimited clock. They say, I'll do it later. I'll fix it next month. I'll chase my dreams when I'm ready. But Marcus knew something we often forget. Time doesn't wait for us. It doesn't ask for permission. It moves with or without us. So when he says you could leave life right now, what he's really saying is, stop pretending you have forever, because you don't. What you have is this moment, this breath, this hour, this chance to be real, to be intentional, to be alive. Let's be honest. How much of your life are you spending on autopilot? How many of your words are just noise? How many of your days end without meaning? Marcus didn't say this to depress you. He said it to sharpen you. When you live with awareness that your time is limited, not in fear, but in focus, everything changes. You speak more clearly. You love more honestly. You stop wasting time on things that drain you. Because when you realize how precious your time is, you protect it. So let me ask, if today was all you had, would you still scroll for hours? Would you still hold back what you really want to say? Would you still wait for someone to give you permission, or would you finally act? Let that awareness shape your choices, Marcus said. Let it guide your actions. Not in fear, but in clarity, in urgency, in presence. Let's be real. How much of your stress, your anxiety, your doubt comes from other people, what they think of you, what they said about you, what they didn't say, but you assumed anyway. Marcus knew this trap. Long before followers, likes, or comments ever existed. He called it ambition, but not in the modern sense. He meant the kind of ambition that steals your peace. The kind that ties your self-worth to external approval. Ambition means tying your well-being to what others say or do. And let's face it, we do this constantly. We feel good when we get praise. We feel bad when we're ignored. We measure ourselves by someone else's reaction. That's not power. That's not clarity. That's emotional slavery. Now here's the shift, the line that flips it all. Sanity means tying it to your own actions. In other words, did you show up today with integrity? Did you do what you said you'd do? Did you speak the truth even if no one clapped? If yes, and then you've already won. Your peace should never be in someone else's hands, and your value should never come with a like button. Marcus reminds you, you're not here to impress. You're here to live, with reason, with courage, with inner order. Because at the end of the day, you can't control who praises you. You can't control who doubts you. But you can control what you choose to do, say, and believe. So the next time your mind spirals into, do they like me? Did I do enough? Am I falling behind? Pause, take a breath, and remember what Marcus wrote. Sanity means tying your well-being to your own actions. That's where freedom begins. By now you can probably feel it. Marcus didn't write meditations to be famous. He didn't write to lecture. He wrote to survive, To survive confusion, to survive loss, to survive the noise and both around him and inside. And what he left behind wasn't a philosophy textbook. It was a map through darkness, a way to come back to yourself when the world pulls you in 1,000 directions. And here's the twist. He never thought you would read it. He thought his words would die with him, hidden in the pages of a leather-bound journal no one would ever open. But somehow, they found their way to you. Now the question is, will you read them like poetry, or will you let them rewire your life? Because Marcus didn't just write for emperors. He wrote for men like you, men who feel lost, overwhelmed, distracted, men who are quietly breaking on the inside, but still showing up. Men who want to reclaim discipline, clarity, and peace from within. Wherever you are right now, whatever you're carrying, know this: you are not alone. You are not powerless. You are not without a path. Marcus walked it before you. He stumbled, he bled, he doubted himself, but he kept going, and he wrote down the way, not so you could worship him, but so you could follow. So if this episode stirred something in you, don't let it fade. Don't scroll to the next distraction. Sit with it. Let it hit. Let it reshape you. And if you're ready for more, subscribe to this channel. Because this isn't just a podcast, it's a journey, a Stoic voyage, and it's only just begun.